Welcome back. There seems to be no stopping the price of gold these days. It has rocketed higher this year from about $2,700 an ounce when the year began to now substantially more than $3,400 US dollars per ounce. Our next guest is an expert. Let's talk about gold with Martin Pradier. He is equity research analyst at Veritas Investment Research. Martin, thank you for coming in. You raised your target recently to an average of $3,200 for 2025. As we noted, it began the year at about $2,700. We're now at about $34. Lots of numbers to talk about. Tell us about this market and why you're constructive on gold.
I'm very constructive on gold because you have a problem in the U.S. They have a huge fiscal deficit, and the U.S. has been always the reserve currency for the world. And if the U.S. has this fiscal deficit, it's getting worse, and it's all these problems with other countries, then central banks are buying gold. And that trend has been very strong, and that has pushed gold prices a lot higher. And we see that continuing. So it's difficult for us to say exactly what is going to be the price. But we see that trend of gold still going up. Very, very strong.
Just to be clear, we chatted about this before you came on air. You see gold going higher from here, and it's at $34.29 right now, to a point where the average price, by the time the year is over, when the average price is calculated, it will come in at about $3,200. And that means prices will move higher from here, correct?
That's correct. I mean, it's still going to be a little bit higher. It's difficult to say exactly where it's going to stop, but everything that you see, for instance, who has a lot of treasuries? Japan and China. Are you going to get into a war with them? They can go and sell those treasuries, and then what are they going to do with the gold? With that money, they're probably going to put a little bit more in gold. For instance, Japan and China has only about 5% of the total holdings of the central banks in gold. When you look at the US has 70 or 75% of their reserves in gold. So there is a lot of room for them to increase their gold holdings, especially if they don't believe in the US, and that can take the gold higher. Can I tell you what the number? Obviously not, but it can take it higher.
Okay. How important are gold ETFs in all of this? There are numerous gold ETFs out there that give investors exposure to the metal. There are others that give investors exposure to the mining stocks. But let's focus on the metal. How important are the purchases by gold ETFs?
Well, that's the other interesting thing that is happening. A year ago, people were selling gold ETFs, so there was pressure on the gold ETF side. And that has turned around. So there are more buyers of gold ETFs now. So there's bigger demand from gold ETF that they used to have. So that is also helping gold prices.
Okay, you also cover many of the TSX traded gold securities. One that you've recently raised your rating on in a big way is Franco-Nevada. Many people would call it the flagship precious metal streaming company. You've gone to buy on this stock from an earlier recommendation of reduce and substantially increase your price target to 254 Canadian dollars per share. And there we see it on the TSX at just under 239 right now. Why do you think there's more to come in the rally that we've seen in Franco-Nevada?
Yes, Franco-Nevada, when you change the gold price, does have a big impact. The other thing that is positive on Franco-Nevada is there are some negotiations on Cobre Panama. Some of you might remember Cobre Panama, has stopped production, and Franco-Nevada has a stream. So when we see that there might be negotiation and that stream might come back, that has a huge impact on Franco-Nevada price.
Mm-hmm. And that stream is a significant portion of Franco-Nevada's portfolio, correct?
It used to be 20-30% of their earnings.
Wow.
So it's very significant.
Right.
And there is a movement there. The president of Panama has indicated that they will likely have negotiations, once he finishes. He's doing a social reform, pension reform. Once he finishes that, that he will move and do negotiations with about Cobre Panama, right? And that could be very positive for Franco-Nevada.
Okay, you've also got buy ratings on some of the biggest names in the sector in terms of actual miners. Barrick Gold, Newmont Mining, Wheaton Precious Metals, and Agnico Eagle Mines. What do these stocks all have in common that makes you go buy on them?
Well, I don't think that the price of gold is reflected on these stocks. So when price of gold goes up like this, these miners' earnings basically explode, and we don't see that that is priced. So that's why we have a buy in a lot of mining stocks, gold stocks. We usually don't like to have a buy on so many gold stocks. I usually like to have one or two, but when the price goes up so fast, the market has not caught up with it.
Okay, one gold mining stock that you do have a reduced rating on is Lundin Gold. Is this simply a question of valuation?
It is. We had a buy for many, like a couple of years, and we like the stock. We think it's a great opportunity. It's just that the valuation has gone up too much. The stock has run a lot this year, and last year as well. So we don't find enough value. The company main mine is in Ecuador, so you have a country risk there when you discount back the cash flows that sort of limits, in our view, how much you want to pay in terms of valuation.
What should we be expecting from these companies in the first quarter? And I ask that question because I see in your report, you say a common denominator for all our companies is that the first quarter is expected to be the weakest quarter of the year in terms of gold production.
Yes. That is not unusual. Like a lot of times, they finish the year, they put the best grade out of the mines the last quarter, and the first quarter is a little bit slow. I think this is going to be the case. Especially Barrick is going to have a very weak first quarter. I think the market knows about it, but they have problems in Pueblo Viejo. They had problems, with Mali that is not producing anymore. So they had problems even in Nevada, where there's some things that are not working as usual. So yes, it's going to be a pretty weak quarter for them.
Martin, thank you very much for coming by.
Thank you.
Martin Pradier, equity research analyst at Veritas Investment Research and an expert in the gold market and the gold equities as well.